it was tough because my mom was going through some health issues. I found out when she came to visit that she was a little sicker than I thought she was.
Gotcha.
That's part of the reason why I came back, because my mom was sick. There was a bunch of things why I came back that transpired that led to me coming back to California. But a big thing of that was my mom was sick.
Yeah.
My mom was dealing with a lot of things. And so for me, I didn't feel comfortable anymore, regardless how things were going, whether it was good or bad. I didn't feel comfortable being there, knowing that my mom was sick, knowing that I was miles away.
Yeah.
I would have never left if I had known my mom was as sick as she was, but she wanted to see me do so well and live out my dreams, my mom being the biggest person in my life. Yeah.
Ooh, my guy. Yo, it's been some time.
It's been a while.
It's
been about a year.
Yeah.
It's been about a year.
About a freaking year, no joke. And now you back, bro.
I am back.
2 times on the podcast. What up, podcast alum? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Hypocritical AF podcast. I'm your host, Albert Fig. And we got the return of Keith. Jouganatos, what up with it, boy?
Nice to be back.
Nice to be back in Sacramento.
Before we get started, man.
Let's get it.
100 plus episodes.
Yes.
It's been so great to see you just evolve, and congratulations. We give you your flowers.
Thank you.
Before we start anything else.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. 100.
I love to see the growth.
Yeah, man, because it's like when you think about like, that year time frame that has passed and then the first time here and the second time and then like, small subtle upgrades.
No,
adding,
definitely.
You know what I mean? That
I love it. I love it. I think it's great.
And I love to see it too because well, for me personally, it's like, this shit is every week. You know what I'm saying? So when you're doing it every week and you're constantly going in motion, you're constantly doing it so much, you got to step back, smell the roses like you said.
I think it's phenomenal.
But you've been busy, bro.
I have been busy. I've been doing some stuff here or there. Yeah, something like that.
And I just realized I forgot. I told this man, I go, yo, this is the one we're gonna go in on this episode. And I was like, I gotta have some drinks, and I forgot to pick up the damn drinks.
It's all good. We'll still go in.
Yeah,
we'll still partake.
We'll still go in. Okay, so a lot of shit has been happening with you specifically within the last year. Oh my God, bro. So okay, I'm trying to figure out where to even start with this. Okay, so approximately, right? It's not an exact date and everything, but damn near around a year ago, right? You came on first time. We was chopping it up.
That's
Life
true.
going great. You feel me? Everything's smooth.
Yeah.
And then now, where are you? Okay, are you in Louisiana or leaving it now? Where exactly?
So I've left Louisiana.
Officially
left Louisiana. And I'm looking for a job on the West Coast. I have a contract signed with Colorado.
Yeah.
And we're figuring out the details about that right now. I don't know whether I'm going to go, whether I'm going to stay, but as of right now, I am assigned to Colorado, KKCO, ABC 8.
Okay.
But we're going to have to figure some stuff out. But as of right now, I am in a legally binding contract with Colorado Channel 8, ABC News.
And I love the fact that you're doing that because I remember you were saying when you were here last time, and if y'all haven't got the chance to go check out the episode, I definitely encourage you to do that. But I remember you talking about like, you know what, dude, I'm going to expand. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I want to pursue this specifically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you took a chance for yourself, still taking a chance on yourself. And so for one, that was just as a fan, also from you coming on and talking about it and then taking off and be like, yo, this is what I'm doing. I was hella excited and hella happy for you to just do something different. Number one, right?
Yeah.
Number two, it also brought like curiosity on me because I was just like, okay, what is he gonna do? You know what I mean? What's going on over here? And then it was also followed with, which is number 3, which is like, ooh, I wonder what was a sudden change, right? What happened and everything? Because within that year, bro, I'm telling you, life was going straight, it was going smooth.
Yeah. For me, I was dealing with a lot of things in my personal life. Things here where I just needed to get away for a little bit and figure some stuff out. I think there was also some stuff where, I just needed to get away from a lot of things and just process things that were going on in my life. A lot of stuff was going on that was chaotic, traumatizing, depressing. And so I think, while it was short-lived, being in Louisiana allowed me to just get away from certain things and, develop some new skills and figure some stuff out. And so while it was short-lived, being in Louisiana probably was one of the best things for me because it allowed me just to get out and expand and just not worry about stuff that was going on at home. I think that's healthy for any human being to recognize when you have a problem Okay, how are we going to correct this problem? How are we going to, cope with it? And, for me, leaving, while it was hard to get away from my family and my friends and people in general, I think it was therapeutic just to be around different people and experience a new walk of life. And I think anytime you can find peace as a human being, whether it's at home in Sacramento or whether it's somewhere in Louisiana, or if you go somewhere else to Colorado, I think that's a bonus and that's a plus in regards to it.
For sure. I mean, it's also anything with the change in scenery is always at first, a bit like, oh shit, you know what I mean? There's an adjustment period. And of course, there's like uncomfortability and all that, but it also is growth in that too. You know what I'm saying? And I remember how I felt when I first moved out of California for the first time, and I took off. I was like 3.5 years gone. And I remember completely different.
Yeah, you were down there.
Yeah. It was like completely different. Like college football to them it's bigger than the NFL. Like it's everything, right?
Oh yeah.
And the culture is different. People are different in a good way too. They're like that Southern hospitality that people talk about is definitely true.
Yeah.
I've only been to Louisiana one time, and I drove through it, so I don't really count that as a visit. You know what I'm saying? I think I stopped and put gas, so I don't know if that really counts. So I didn't really get to full, experience it from it. But when I was over there, it was interesting to me because I was like, as much as I miss California and miss being back home and miss everybody, it's also cool for me to get this perspective of being on the other side of the U.S.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And kind of like get almost essentially like a cultural shift and like in a melting pot because there was a bunch of different people there, too. So that was hella cool, so that's why I can relate with you on that one, and I understand the change.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean, in Louisiana was a world away from California.
Yeah,
like you go over there and it's like the whole how people talked, how people walked, their dialect, their tone, what was going on, what wasn't going on. Is completely different. Yeah. And so it's like being on Mars compared to Earth, and you're just like trying to find your way. But the people over there were so nice, so heartwarming and welcoming, and there is that Southern hospitality. And so for me, when I got over there, while I was, it was sad to leave everybody behind. Yeah. The people over there were amazing, and I recommend anybody if you're going to travel or going somewhere outside of your comfort zone, go to the South because those people there are so great. I have nothing but love for people in the South.
Oh, yeah. That Southern hospitality, I know I said it already, but that shit is true, bro. In a good way, like I said, it's in a good way. Now, granted, there's some like bad stuff sometimes, but that's what like anywhere, you know what I'm saying? That's Sacramento, the Bay Area, LA, and whatever's going on, you know what I mean? There's always like a bad thing. Right? So that thing is always solid, bro. But I'm glad that you took off and pursued that, everything. Yeah. How was your mom with all this?
Yeah, that was tough.
Right.
Because for me,
and the reason why I ask, because I know how much your mom means to you, right?
Yeah, it was tough because my mom was going through some health issues. And, I found out when she came to visit that she was a little sicker than I thought she was.
Gotcha.
That's part of the reason why I came back, because my mom was sick. And I just didn't feel like, there was a bunch of things why I came back that transpired that led to me coming back to California. But a big thing of that was my mom was sick.
Yeah.
My mom was dealing with a lot of things. And so for me, I didn't feel comfortable anymore, regardless how things were going, whether it was good or bad. I didn't feel comfortable being there, knowing that my mom was sick, knowing that I was miles away.
Yeah.
I would have never left if I had known my mom was as sick as she was, but she wanted to see me do so well and live out my dreams, my mom being the biggest person in my life. Yeah. Knowing she was sick, I couldn't live over there and just deal with that and then deal with all the other bullshit that was coming my way at that job. It was just a bad situation. But my mom was my biggest fan. My mom encouraged me to go out there, pursue my dreams, and I'm still doing it. But I think that I needed to get closer to the West Coast, closer to the Midwest, somewhere closer where I could just be in the vicinity to help my mom out any which way possible. And the fact that all that was going on while my mom was sick, I just couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah. Ideally, I'm sure you want something that's like a quick flight if you need be. You know what I'm saying? That's because that Louisiana one, I know, it can get for a few times you're just like, damn, first of all, hold up, this is expensive.
It's $500 for a flight.
But it's like, God damn, hold up, what's going on,
Yeah.
And then obviously the other option to drive. But that's like, okay, do you want to kill a whole day?
It's like 15 hours.
Yeah, do you want to kill a whole day?
Get there in 2 days, but it is a whole day. I understand.
It's a mob. Yeah, I drove from Georgia only one time ever did I do it. I drove from Atlanta all the way back here to California.
Like 20 hours, right?
Bro, it took me 2 days because I had to stop. I didn't have to, but I stopped in Texas and I stayed the night in Texas.
Yep.
And then fucking getting out of Texas alone was long enough, and then finally getting over.
Texas was like 4-8 hours just to get out of there. Yeah. So I understand
It's huge, and I went through the top of Texas. I didn't even go like through like middle of Texas, because they say that shit's like,
yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm not trying to do that again. But the drive was fun, so I definitely,
I agree.
I'd recommend for people to do a drive like that or any type of road trips. You know what I'm saying?
You see the whole country.
See the whole country, dude. I was taking photos at every like welcome to the the state.
Something like that.
All these. I have a bunch of photos, and I had some weird corny idea that never actually happened. I wanted to take a photo of every state that I was been driving to, and I wanted to put on a calendar with all my.
It.
Did you see? I thought I wasn't the only one. I was like, man, this is too much. You know what I mean? But yeah. So I understand. Because again, my mom means the world to me as well. And when I was taking off, she was a bit trepidatious as well. She was just like worried, of course. The phone calls were nonstop and everything, right? Naturally, like a mom. Naturally. So I can definitely understand that too. But now that you're officially, well, you want to be closer for sure, at a minimal, right?
I want to be closer. I want to find a job. Like, I don't know if I'm going to take the Colorado job, but I know that I want to be closer. I know I want to be closer to the West Coast. In our line of work, you don't get to pick and choose.
Right.
But I think for me, taking these next, 4 to 5 weeks, just chilling out, being around family, being around friends, I think it's going to be therapeutic, but I want to be closer,
Yeah. How much did you miss it, though? Like, when you were over there, was there a bit, like, were there some nights where you're just like, man, you know what? Fuck this. Like, I'm going to dip off back. Or is it more like, nah, I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm doing the right thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't miss back home. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I miss the people. I miss people like you, my friends, and the homies, and my family. Like, you're miles away from people like that. But I knew I had a job to do. I knew that this is the life I chose. No one put a gun to my head and said, you have to take this television job. This is the life we chose. You want to break into the business, you got to go somewhere and you've never been before.
That's true.
You don't get to pick and choose. And so for me, I knew what the job entailed. But if I had known what was going on with my mom and my family and all this stuff, I would have missed it more. But at the time, like, you're just locked in on the job and what you got to do. And every day is a fight. Every day is a struggle just to get the story done or get something else done. So for me, there was a lot of things that, we'll talk about, but there was a lot of things that in my mind where I was just battling on a consistent basis. But when you're in the heat of the battle, you don't have time to think about that. You just got to think about, okay, how do I preserve my job today and get forward? Like, every day was not necessarily a fight, but just like a battle, just like get to the next day,
right,
and figure that out. So I miss my family, I miss my friends. That's not even a question. But at the same time, like, you just know that this is what you signed up for, and you have to work through it.
Yeah, I mean, those type of things are a given, right? Like the friends, the relationship that you have, and everything.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna be missed. It's like for people like that maybe don't understand. It'd be like that weird transition between like leaving high school and going to college or something like that. You don't want to leave your friends behind, but then you end up making new friends, and and some get lost throughout the way and everything. So that's just all a part of evolution and growth and life in general. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like that it goes with it. So I definitely understand that too. But also, I think, furthermore, I would say it's also like when you're in that focus mode of just grind mode, like I got to do this, I got to do that. In that moment, at least for myself, you're not really thinking about, man, what are the homies doing back home right now? Because you're so busy with doing whatever what you're doing. You're just like, I'm sure I'll get to them whenever I get to them, or even with family too, dude. Because sometimes I'll battle that with myself too. I'll be like, shit, like it's been 3 months, and I haven't been back home even to visit my own mom, my own little brothers, And I'll be like, shit, I get it on go that we forget a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the one where just like I get that miss factor.
Yeah. We're on the same page with that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It never goes away.
Sheesh, bro. Okay, so let's talk about what initially, besides wanting to be like, all right, I'm gonna go pursue this and everything, what else do you think there was like going on, I guess, in life for you, your personal life, if it's okay to talk, obviously.
Yeah.
That you're just like, man, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was engaged and then I wasn't. And that ended as badly as you could, possibly, imagine.
Yeah.
And that hurt. And I was, just working at the car dealership and just trying to figure out my life. And it was just depressing because you're dealing with all these emotions. You're living it over and over again. Everybody knows about it, and I won't say that I'm the most popular person in the city, but people do know me.
Yeah.
And so it sucked that you're going through that. And then all this is being played out in a public, state, and you really don't have anybody you can trust, and you go through all that. And so
Shots
for me,
being fired.
Yeah. I mean, it was tough, man, because like your whole life, when you give your heart to somebody, your whole life is just exposed like that.
Oh yeah.
And that was tough for me because it was like, I didn't want that to end the way it did. If it was going to end like that, I didn't want a fake Instagram page being posted about me. I didn't want people like seeing like the ugly stuff. And it hurt, man, because you go from being engaged to like you got nothing.
Yeah.
And then your dog gets taken.
Yeah.
And then everybody knows about it. And then it's just like, you know, fuck me, man. Like, what am I gonna do now? And so I think for me, the smartest thing I could have done was just involve myself in my passion and my work. You know, and you're trying to figure out, what am I going to do with my life? Do I want to stay here? You're making great money selling cars, but are you truly happy? And then for me, it became a situation where I said, okay, I got to figure out what I want to do and just go pursue it. And there was no time for me to like worry about my past life or this and that. And things happen. Life happens. It is what it is. But I think for me, the smartest thing I could have did, even if it was short-lived, was just going out to Louisiana, getting what I need to do, putting those clips out there and moving on with my life. But it was tough. It was a difficult situation because I was committed to just staying in the car business for the rest of my life. And, you know, when that didn't happen, it was like, okay, what am I really living for in this situation? Am I living just to please another person? Am I living just to please my family? Or what do I want to do?
Yeah.
So I dealt with that for a long time. And then going out to Louisiana, you know, while I was away from my family and friends, it allowed me to start a new life and develop new relationships and just move on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I remember specifically, you know, obviously because we follow each other like on all socials and everything. Yeah. And I remember just outside looking in, right? So just like, oh man, he proposed. Oh, he's engaged right now too. I saw, you know, everything right there. I was like, that's good for him, man. And then, you know, time goes on and living together and everything. And then I like see like the shift, you know, slowly. It wasn't necessarily like abrupt, at least on, you know, mine, you know, outside looking in. But then I start to see the shift and I'm just like, fuck. Like, I'm in my mind, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna hit him up and be like, is he cool? And then I was like, no, hold on. He's probably already like going through some shit, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm not bothered now with it. And then I remember you essentially trying to clear your name, be like, hey, this isn't me, you know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't my character, this and that. And then I remember it was shifting from that to like, all right, now it's like getting out of hand with all this shit, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, it was tough, man, because like, you know, I didn't get engaged just to get engaged.
Yeah.
I got engaged with the thought that I was going to get married. When that didn't happen, that was tough. And then you're dealing with the concept of like this person puts this video out that really doesn't like showcase the whole story. And, you know, listen, I wasn't a perfect person. I'd be the first to admit that.
No one is.
But
not even myself, trust me.
But I think that, you know, that being put out there like that, I never wanted that for anybody. It was embarrassing for me. It was embarrassing for my family. It was embarrassing for my friends. The way it played out, the way it's still playing out, you know, and you go through that. But I think that for me, it just, you know, showed me, do you really want to be with a person who's going to do that to you?
Yeah.
Do you really want to be with a person who's going to like expose your life out there in the open? And people can have their opinions about me one way or the other. I really don't care. But at the end of the day, I know that I didn't want it to play out like that. And, you know, I distanced myself from that and it hurt. Like it sucked, you know, but you just live and learn and that's part of life. And you just say, okay, you know, going forward, I'll make better decisions with who I want to be around. And, you know, it was a bad situation, but I didn't want it to be played out the way it was, like in public like that. It hurt. It sucked, but it's part of life.
Yeah.
And you learn to deal with it and you learn to be a better person. You learn to make better choices. And no one held a gun to my head and said, you have to be with that person.
Yeah.
I made that choice and vice versa. So, you know, you live and learn and you get older and you mature as a person and you just, you know, wish the best for everybody. But at the end of the day, I'm not, you know, what some people would make me out to be.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I know who I really am. And that's all that matters to me. I don't need to go around telling people what I am, what I'm not. I just learned that, you know what, just let that be and move on with your life and be a better person and live to be a better person. That's all I can do.
Yeah. And it's also, it's not a win-win. It's not a positive thing that comes out from all of this. No. It's not like they wake up and like, you know what, I'm choosing violence today. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like it's just like, I'm going to just go through all this and make shit difficult because it's also, bro, it's like living situations too. It's like, you're talking about a place, like a home. Then you figure out what's this and what about this and what about that? You know what I mean? And then now it's like, all right, who's moving out? You know what I'm saying? And that type of thing. And you go through all those little things. I say that too because I myself is also, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? And I know the heart, not even heartbreak, the stress more so than anything that it causes. You know what I'm saying?
That was tough.
And then, so moving on from all that, I could tell you were hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember now, then it was just like, oh, damn. You know how I know this was getting to you? Because I was like, oh, Keith is drinking. Oh, you was drinking.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I've never been a big drinker my whole life.
Yeah.
But but I think you just cope with things a different way.
Yeah, you try to numb suppress.
Yeah, and I mean, to this day, I'm still not a big drinker. Yeah. But I think the biggest thing that I did was realize that A, that's not going to help. Yeah. And then B, just, focusing on your career and in your path. For me, it was tough. You go every day of your life. Well, not every day of your life, excuse me, but you go a majority of your life being around this one person. Mm-hmm. And that one person leaves your life and they've moved on. Yeah. They've got a different partner.
Been there.
They've taken your dog. Yeah. They've taken everything that you were accustomed to. Mm-hmm. And you're just in this apartment. You're alone. You got money, but you're like, okay, what do I do now? Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people go through that, whether it's a man or a woman. Mm-hmm. You try to find out, who am I before I was in this relationship? Yeah. Who am I going to be after this relationship? Yeah. And so you deal with all that and you say to yourself, okay, what do I need to focus on? For me, it was my line of work, and I found something that I was really passionate about and happy about. And I think that helped more than anything. But, I would just recommend for a lot of people that are coping with certain things, mm-hmm. Figure out, something healthy and positive. Because for me, I was going out, I was partying, but that wasn't healthy. And it was healthy for me to have people around me that reached out and recognized, this is our boy, we're going to help him. Mm-hmm. He is definitely hurting. And I think part of any problem that you have in life, whether it's drugs, alcohol, anything, is that recognizing you have a problem and then understanding how do you cope with it. Mm-hmm. And then for me, I wasn't drinking every day. I wasn't going out like getting drunk every day, but mm-hmm. there were times I'm just gonna, I don't care.
Yeah. However,
but I'm glad that I had people around me that helped me and got me through and then put me on a different path. And I think that was the healthiest thing for me, and just being able to cope and move on with my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a good thing, is it's also acknowledging it, right? Seeing it, yeah. Like, oh, okay, all right, definitely need to change some things and everything, And I think, like I said, there's not a specific timeline for it, but I think that's when it shifted again to be like, all right, now I'm like taking off, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then it was like, oh, he's happy. Like, you look happy, and I was like, oh, he's happy now, you know what I mean? Doing everything and being surrounded with the people. And I know we talked about like you taking off from there and everything, but was it like fun? Like, or was it more like, you know what I'm saying? Like business?
It was fun because I was living my dream. Yeah. For so long living in the West Coast, I'd been denied an opportunity to be an actual reporter. Yeah. I'd been denied an opportunity to be an actual news reporter, because a lot of people in Sacramento mm-hmm. and, the West Coast, it's a top 15 market. So you can't break in like that. So for me, I knew what I had to do. I knew I had to go to the South. Yeah. I knew I had to go to the Midwest, but I believed in myself to the point where it's like, if I am given an opportunity, I know I can do this, regardless how it ended, regardless where it's going now. I know now that mm-hmm. I can be a news reporter. I know that in my heart of hearts, because I did it, because I lived it, and so for me, it was fun because here I am, I'm interviewing senators. I'm covering actual criminal cases. Yeah. I'm actually covering legit news stories. Mm-hmm. And not only was I like surviving, I felt like in my heart of hearts I was thriving. And for me, that's what matters. Like, I was putting out great work. I was living my life. I was seeing a different part of the world.
Suited and booted, you feel me?
Yeah, it's something like booted, that. Yeah. But for me, I think the healthiest part was that I was, moving on with my life. Mm-hmm. I was making connections, and it was a different, style of living for me. And I think anytime that you can go somewhere where nobody knows you, mm-hmm. nobody knows what you're about, nobody mm-hmm. knows what you've been through, that's healthy, because you have a clean slate. Now you have an opportunity to say, okay, who can I show who I really am to these people? Yeah. And once I did that, it was healthy. But I don't regret my time in the South for anything, because I was out there and I was living life and I was being what I always wanted to be. Yeah. And that experience you can't take away from yourself.
Dude, I relate so much to that when you said like going to a different place and then not having the benefit of nobody like knowing you and everything, and get to like kind of be yourself more. Yeah, I remember I've done a lot of things like I've noticed a lot of things like in 4-year increments, like high school. I mean, that's a given, right? 4 years. Take off, and I was military and everything for roughly about 4 years. Been over here, and after my 4-year mark here in Sacramento, I was like, all right. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, where's next? You know what I mean? And I was like, am I going to be here or not? And I was contemplating doing the typical thing that everybody does too, which is like, all right, I'm going to head out to LA, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So then I was like, all right, like I'm talking about, like I drove, looked at apartments, stayed the night, was applying and everything, you know what I'm saying? I already had a job lined up. Like it was everything ready to go, you know what I'm saying?
It was all set.
Yeah, and then I was just like, oh, I can't wait to move here, because now it's a new set of people, and now I'm going to, And so I thought about that too, even being right here. And I'm just like, all right, now, like I think about being able to take off somewhere and having that benefit. Like I said, everybody not knowing you, but then also being able to be like, all right, what do I want to do now? Like, do I want to continue something or do I want to shift? And I think that's like a good positive thing, right? Because it's like, all right, I can either continue what I do, depending on what it is, and that's solid because you're expanding in that, but you also have the benefit of starting something new, a new chapter, a new hobby, or whatever it is.
Exactly.
So that's why I say only positive things and beneficial things can come out from that. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Yeah.
I've been there. Yeah, I understand that part.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? And then even you could cover some sports stuff too. You know, and then you're in the South now too. It's like sports is up the ass over there. You know what I'm saying?
24/7.
So that's like another positive for you too and everything. And but going back, like I said, to the somewhat makeshift timeline that I'm kind of referencing and everything too. So in there, you're doing your thing. Like you said, covering everything you want to cover, actually reporting on stuff and then suited and booted. Like I said, I want to keep saying that because you were suited and booted.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? And then, so then now it's like, all right, Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, I had the opportunity to go to Colorado. Mm-hmm. And, it was a situation where I feel like I kind of like just jumped the gun. There was a lot of things that were going on. I had an offer in Arizona. I had an offer in Colorado at the same time.
Oh, shit.
And I just didn't really know how to navigate the negotiation. And there was some stuff going on with Colorado where I just felt like, as much as I appreciated the offer and I thought the offer sounded good, I wish I had thought about it a little bit more than I did. I just jumped at the chance to go back to the West Coast, be with my mom. There were things from Louisiana that I was dealing with an ex. And, ultimately, I just needed to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to come home for 4 or 5 weeks. I'm going to figure out my next move and just be with my people and just figure that out. But I feel like, as much as I wanted to go to Colorado, I just felt like, okay, I need to think about this a little more. And it just became a lot where it was just like, there was a lot of things going on in my head that were jumbled up. And I wasn't prepared for that. I've always loved the business, but I wasn't used to the negotiation process of the business. Yeah. And I'd be the first to admit that.
I'm sure I would too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Because
perfect timing to not interrupt. I'm sorry, but also about picking the time for it to come. Holidays and everything. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
You can't beat that, especially in Sacramento during the fall and winter.
Yeah, it's great.
I've always loved the business, but when it became a business, literally a business for me, and you have to think about your livelihood, how much you're gonna get paid, what they're gonna offer you. That was tough, because you don't get to pick and choose that. You have to work your way up. So for me now, I think being home for like 4 or 5 weeks, picking my next move, that's gonna be the most healthiest thing. And just being around family and friends, you can't beat that. But I think in my heart of hearts, regardless whether I had taken the job at Arizona or Colorado, I needed to come home and figure out what I truly wanted. And I think that's the most healthiest thing is just pausing for a minute and saying, okay, what do I really want as a human being? Yeah. And I didn't really know. So it was good to come home and see my mom, my pops, and everybody involved and just chill out. And it's been going good so far.
Yeah. Thanksgiving coming up, Christmas coming up. Like
yes,
I said, it's
facts.
This is my favorite time of the year too. Not because I'm hella like freaking festive with holidays or anything. More so like the weather at the time.
No, I get it.
And I understand. Here's another thing. Unpopular opinion. I'm actually a fan of it getting darker quicker. That's just me. Like I don't mind it. Like a lot of people, I get it. Some people be like, God damn it, it's 4:30. It's really dark, and they'll be like, fuck. And I'm like that. Me, I'm just like, oh, it's great. It's what I mean. I'm not a big summertime person either. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean. So I guess maybe it just aligns with like
Northern California. It's really hot. So yeah. I get that part.
Speaking about being hot, bro, Arizona, shit.
I would have loved it though.
You really?
Yeah. I mean, my whole
120?
family. Well, my whole family's from Arizona.
Oh, okay,
and I would have been there, but
you'll adjust good.
Yeah, and it'd been fine, but we'll see what happens.
Funny little sidebar on this one too. Actually, before I moved to Georgia, I was originally going to be in Colorado, so I was supposed to go to Colorado first, and I was going to stay there.
Yeah,
but then like literally a week before everything was official, I went to Georgia.
Yeah,
so a little close to I get a little tied to Colorado.
Something like that.
Yeah, I've driven. I mean, not driven. I've flown into Denver, but I've never actually like been around. You know what I mean?
It's cool. I was there for like 4 or 5 days.
I'll go. Is it like skiing and like snowboarding is like the thing to do over there?
Yeah, in the winter it snows. Yeah. It's gonna snow. It just depends on like what area you are, but it's gonna snow predominantly mostly all parts of Colorado.
Another sidebar, so I know on this one, I've never been skiing or snowboarding.
Oh,
never.
You got to go.
Lake Tahoe.
You got to try.
It's one spot they told me to go.
You got to try.
Is Boreal?
Boreal.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've never been.
Good place.
Okay. So is that a good like starter place for me to go to and everything?
They got mini slopes, stuff like that, so you'd be fine.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I feel like I'm gonna hurt myself.
No, you'll be fine.
Really?
Just don't be doing anything you wouldn't recommend. Don't do anything you don't know. If you know your limitations, don't do anything that's out of your limitations.
So
you'll be all right.
Would you recommend skiing or snowboarding first?
Snowboarding, because I'm a snowboarder.
Okay, so you go.
All my friends from the car dealerships are snowboarders. All my friends growing up are snowboarders. My mom was a big skier, though. My mom is a big skier.
Oh, nice.
So my mom, loves to ski. That's the only person I know in my family or remote family or friends that actually skis. Everybody else is a snowboarder.
Okay.
Something like that.
I'm going to take that one in and I'm going to go get myself a board or something. Because one of my homies, Gil, shouts out Gil, he has a board and I didn't realize how big that shit is. I was talking to Move recently and I remember I was like, God damn, this shit's taking up like damn near your whole freaking like wall space, you know what I mean? It's just like right there how long it is. I was like, damn, this is
huge.
Long. So I'm gonna have to go. And he's the one that told me about Boreal. He also broke his collarbone there. Man. So there's that too. Tough. So shouts out to Gil.
Yeah. Shout out Gil. Hope you're feeling better.
Hope you're feeling better. Oh man. Okay, bro. So even just to talk, I know you don't want to just only talk about you and everything, right? Unless you do. But
whatever you want to do. I told you in the DMs is open book. So do what you got to do.
But I want to like because I know how much of a sports guy you are. I want to talk about sports too. You know what I'm saying? So
let's go.
But to kind of cap off with everything with you, man. I'm just overall, like I said, happy for you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're with the family. I'm glad you're kind of, using this time to reset and just kind of focus on you and kind of, put yourself first. Number one, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad that you're happy and everything.
Yeah.
But now I want to know what the hell is going on with the Steelers, right? What the hell is going on with the Raiders? And why, they just lost, but how the hell are the Eagles doing so good?
Where do you want to start?
I mean, the Steelers.
Well, the Steelers, they're dealing with a lot. First of all, the offensive line isn't as good as it has been the last couple of years, which has made it harder for Najee Harris to run the ball. You don't have Ben Roethlisberger and Kenny Pickett. I think he's got some promise, but in football, your offensive line is key.
Yeah.
And without a great offensive line, or even a decent offensive line, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
So they got to get that offensive line patched up. The defense will always be good because Watt, Defensive Player of the Year, Fitzpatrick in the secondary. They've got pieces on defense, but I need to see more improvement from that offensive line before anything else.
Yeah.
And that's going to be like the main. They've got weapons. They traded Claypool, but they still have Pickett. They still have George Pickens and Deontay Johnson, but until that offensive line is fixed, the Steelers, man, they're going to be horrible. I just wish they would stop winning. They beat the Saints last week. I'm just like, stop winning. Get the best picks. We can get somebody else on that defense or offensive line, man. Yeah. But they keep winning these random, like, meaningless games of 3-6. Like, come on, man. We got to fight for the pick.
I'll take that.
You never recommend tanking, but come on, man.
I'll take that record over my team's record. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like 2-8, 2-6, 2-7. What the hell is it? Back-to-back. How do you lose against the Lions? What is going on?
I've been saying it for weeks. Until the Raiders fire Josh McDaniels, these are the results you're going to get. Rich Bisaccia, somebody and I were having a conversation. They were like, well, Bisaccia was a special teams coach, so he wasn't fit to be a head coach. I'm like, dude, like
he also didn't have enough time.
Do you realize out of all the things that the Raiders dealt with last year, Ruggs, Arnett,
Gruden,
they made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And the craziest stat, I saw this the other day. I was eating lunch at a restaurant today. I think the Raiders in 1-score games last year were like 7-2.
Oh yeah,
and they're 0-6.
Yeah,
that's a crazy stat just to go from that to that. And I think that the head coach clearly does not have this team ready to play every week.
Yeah,
you should not be the record that you are if you have Adams. Darren Waller's been banged up, but you still have Jacobs. Carr, I don't care how many Raider fans say Carr is not that bad of a quarterback. Is he the greatest thing ever? No. But he's not the worst thing.
Yeah.
So to have this record the way you are, I mean, that's just.
And it's the same story. I feel like it every year, damn near. It's always the second half.
Yeah.
First half,
constantly.
It's like solid. We look like we're top 3. You know what I'm saying? And then second half comes and it's like, what are we doing? It all falls apart. And then I don't like to use the penalty, marker or throw that penalty flag and be like, oh, penalties, because I feel like that's throughout the whole league, so it's not necessarily fair. But they do get fucking penalized. Like they do so much shit wrong when it comes to crunch times, especially like I said in the fourth quarter with the penalties. They get them bad. Simple stuff, you know what I'm saying? Simple stuff, and I'm like, damn it. As a Raiders fan, it sucks to watch. And I agree. I don't know. This was 2 wins with that when you on paper, dude. At the beginning of the year, ESPN. I remember I put on the Instagram too. First Take were literally they were debating and having the Raiders offensively like ranked number 1.
Yeah,
2 wins. What is going on?
It's just I think you cannot win as a football team in the National Football League if your head coach and your quarterback are not. They're not at least some decent.
Something is something.
I mean, what does it say that the quarterback is on the podium crying his eyes out about losing? I mean, he feels awful, and then the head coach goes, "Well, I don't know about any of that." Like, there's a disconnect.
There's there's some type of disconnect or something. Even there was like a little subtle bar or a little subtle, I don't know if he had caught it or not with Derek Carr. He was just saying like, "Oh, I gotta, we gotta talk about something with the team, or I gotta address something." And he goes, but I'll keep it between.
McDaniel should have been fired 2 weeks ago. My heart of hearts.
Yeah,
but
really, you think?
First year of a contract, you can only do so much, but. Clearly, I think anybody who watches the game would see he's not the right head coach for that job.
Yeah, something is going on, and I'll give Derek Carr, I'll give him like some slack compared to what other Raiders. I know a bunch of friends of mine who are Raiders fans who are just like, "Yo, get him out of there!" Like, get him out. A lot of people.
I get it.
Yeah, you don't even have to be a Raiders fan necessarily. A lot of people are saying get him out, and I'll give him some slack, man. I'll give him some slack in that it's not all on him. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these like he's playing decently to where it's like, all right, we should be better than 2 wins. You know what I'm saying?
I feel for Derek.
Yeah.
He's trying, but I don't think all the blame goes on Derek. It's just so quick when Raider fans, not you in particular, but there's so many Raider fans that are quick to put all the blame on Derek, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
I think if you look at it from a non-biased perspective, there's a lot of things that are going on. And last year, Derek was one of, if not the only reasons that they made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So to see this change, it hurts to see it because I know how hard he tries and he's been through so much in that jersey. It's tough, but I wish them the best.
Yeah, I wish them the best too. And like I said, even though I'm not a Steelers fan, I still rock with them. Watch them and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it
because they're fun. They're fun. Yeah. It's fun to watch either go down or they're fun to see.
It's fun when they lose. Win or lose, it's fun.
And they always get like good time slots too. You know what I'm saying? So that's that's why it's
national television Steelers. Yeah,
that's why it's like it's always a good thing to watch with them. But then the Eagles, good fucking run until Monday. You know what I mean? Great run.
It's been fun to see them specifically in the NFL because Jalen Hurts has dealt with so much. They rolled the dice, and then they got AJ Brown. That's been one of the biggest, developing things for Jalen Hurts and his progression. Devontae Smith caught a touchdown pass on Monday. I want to see a little bit more production from him. But that's just a fun team because here you have this quarterback who, physically should not have all the tools.
Yeah.
And all he's done is work, get better every year. They wanted to get rid of him last year.
Yes.
They wanted to get rid of him the year before. For years, they've said Jalen Hurts is not the quarterback to lead this team. And it was just great to see him and this coach who a lot of people were like, you're going to go with Nick, what's his name? And they're one of the best teams in the NFC. I personally don't think they're the team to beat in the NFC. If I was going to pick anybody, I'd pick the Niners, the way they've played the last couple of weeks. Niners put up 19 points against the Chargers, still won the game. So in my heart of hearts, I still think with McCaffrey and Samuel and all those guys, the Niners will be the team to beat in the NFC when all is said and done. But I think the Eagles, from a philosophical standpoint, really great football team, great storyline, and I just wish the best for them. But it's been amazing to see them thrive the way they have.
Yeah. And also stay, since their Super Bowl win, stay somewhat in relevancy. Sometimes you get that. Look at the Rams. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. The Rams that fell off a cliff.
You get that championship hangover. So it's like the fact that they're still, like I said, having the relevancy with them. And I have a couple of friends of mine who are Eagle fans and everything. And it's just cool to watch. So it's like, it's no hate. But also, I'm not one of those crazy like hater fans that just be like it's F every other fucking team. Maybe unless we're playing you that day, but in general, like I don't get to like spew a bunch of hate towards them. So I think it's cool to watch. Maybe to the Cowboys sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes the Cowboys be pissing me off. It just the boys,
you and everybody else.
Yeah. But yeah, shouts out to Dak. But he's got to go.
Oh man,
he's got to go. What are we supposed to do? You got to go already.
It's debatable.
Yeah, it's time. You know what I mean? Time's running out. Time's running out.
Might be running out.
But okay, so shifting from the NFL because I just wanted to talk about those three too. Those are probably popular ones.
Sure.
I gotta talk about Kings basketball and Lakers basketball.
Yes.
I got to.
Let's go.
Come on now. I got it with you. Come on now. You feel me? Hey.
Now we're starting to talk, man. Let's go.
All right. So, Kings.
What about them?
They got a big win.
They're going to the playoffs.
You think? Oh, you already called it.
I already know they're going to the playoffs.
Okay. Put the lights up. Playing right now, aren't they?
They're playing the Nets right now on national television.
That's right.
And I just think this team right now has a good chemistry about them.
Mm-hmm.
Fox is playing out of his mind.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Sabonis put up 26, 22, and 8 the other night.
Mm-hmm.
But as a Kings fan for years, seeing them lose constantly and being a native of Sacramento, seeing the way the city has just for years gone about the Kings and worshipped and rallied around them. People don't understand the love that the city of Sacramento has for the Kings unless you've lived here.
Yeah.
When the Kings are winning, everybody in the city of Sacramento is winning. Everyone
and
feels good.
They're coming too. They're coming too.
The food tastes better.
Yep.
The women that you try to get at, look better. The dancing and the music sounds better. The Kings make a lot of things in the city of Sacramento better because it just represents us as a whole.
Yeah.
When they're losing, the whole city's just like, ah. Yeah. But, as a native of Sacramento, been a Kings fan my entire life, 29 years since I came out the womb. To see this team actually be 500, have a chance to, actually get into the playoffs and see the way the city has, just rallied around them. All of us that come from Sacramento want to see the city progress. Yeah. And the Kings are a big part of that. Yeah. If the Kings win, it just feels like the whole city's winning. So as a fan, my whole life seen, the highest of highs and unfortunately the lowest of lows. It's just been great to see them actually be competitive again and thrive. And I just wish that they keep winning. I'm going to be supporting them. But things are looking up for my Sacramento Kings. I think we're going to the playoffs. I really do.
And not just a playing spot. You're talking about
light the beam. Light the beam, baby. Okay.
Yeah,
light that beam.
They are. I gotta admit, bro. They are playing at a pace right now that's just like okay. It reminds me of back in the day with that pace going forward. So I appreciate them. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Lakers fan. Unfortunately, I'm a Lakers fan.
We'll pour one out for you.
But I also. You can't be here and not root for them either. You know what I'm saying? I do want them to see. I want to see not just for the city themselves, but for the organization. They've been through some shit.
It's been a long journey.
They've been through some shit.
Hopefully we can stay the course. But
big win.
Things are looking up.
Big win.
We'll
see what's up with the Nets. We'll see what happens. Kyrie's still not playing, right? He's still not back yet.
Probably not.
Yeah, I saw.
Don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him right now. It's indefinite now. First, it changed from 5 games to an extension till.
He's got to complete a list of things in order to comply, but I don't know what's going on. I really don't know.
Yeah, I think even Nike, I want to say, didn't necessarily
Nike cut ties.
Oh, they did it for sure.
Yeah.
Oh shoot,
they're done with him.
Damn, that's cold. That's cold. But hey, it is what it is. It's just how I feel bad for the most in this situation. KD. I feel bad for him. You don't? I don't. I feel bad for him a little.
He knew what he was getting himself into. I don't think he knew it from this standpoint. But listen, Kevin Durant, when he made that choice to team up with Kyrie Irving, there was, not necessarily the track record that there is now, but there was a record of Kyrie Irving just saying stuff and, being aloof and wanting to distance himself. There was a track record of that. He didn't show up for Game 7 of the conference finals when the Celtics were at home playing the Cavs. Yeah. This is a chance for your team to go to the NBA finals. You don't show up at all? Yeah. What the hell is that about? So, for me, it's hard for me to feel bad for Kevin Durant because he knew what he was getting himself into. He made the bet. He's got to line it now. Now, all of a sudden, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, I get it. You want to be the main guy. You're never going to be the main guy in Golden State. That's Steph's team. Right. But, you give me a choice between Golden State and this Brooklyn situation that it's developed into now. The choice is clear.
And to your defense, too, he's getting everything that he's wanted. Steve Nash, no longer there.
Yeah.
You're getting all the things, KD, that you want, you're saying you don't want this. You don't think this is the head coach that can lead us. You don't want, you know what I'm saying? You're getting everything you want. So to their defense, it's
how do you feel sorry for a person who is just and put himself in that position and wanted to team up with him. This is the choice you made.
Yeah. I guess I should So I guess my feeling of where I'm coming from when I say where I feel sorry for the guy is only because I feel like he's not 25, right? He's not 30. He's getting up there and I'm like, it's kind of like the LeBron thing right now with the Lakers. The prime years, not necessarily LeBron's prime years, you know what I'm saying?
I get it.
But these are the very important years for KD, and I feel like it's just not going to go anywhere. I'm like, damn, I feel bad because as a basketball fan and as a fan of his, as a talent, I'm like, fuck, like KD is better when he's in the playoffs. Like, it's good TV, it's good basketball, and it's good overall. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's an aspect. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, you know,
you have a certain amount of years as a player, more importantly as a superstar, to hit that window to win championships. You know, I mean, when that window closes, it's closed forever.
Yeah,
and you have to make the most of it. You know, I remember when Kobe won in, I believe, 2010, 2011, I was in the mindset that Kobe was going to have a shot at like 1 or 2 more rings. And then the injuries just piled up. Yeah. The decision-making from the Lakers front office and Kupchak went south. And then, you know, like I said, the injuries, the Achilles, the shoulder, all that stuff. It just, you never know when your window closes, it closes, but you never know truly when that window is going to close. So it was horrible to see that, but you know, you just aren't prepared. Like when your time is up, Father Time is undefeated. And so, you know, Kevin Durant, I really think that Kevin Durant, regardless whether he's gotten himself in this situation alone by himself or had outside influences, he's going to have to take a look at this. You know, he's under contract for 3 more years. Yeah. They're not going to move Kevin Durant just for the sake of one.
Just because he requested a trade.
Yeah. So he's going to figure out what they're going to do. They got to sit down, Sean Marks and Joe Tsai, the Nets, and they got to figure that out. But, you know, it is a bad situation. That Brooklyn situation next to that Lakers situation is a very, very
isn't that crazy,
risky business.
It went from like them two being like potentially like finals matchups to like this
playoffs.
Like, come on, man. Like it's you know,
turn the tables.
Interesting about the Kobe situation too. I know exactly where you're coming from when you say that too, because when he tore his Achilles, that was the beginning of the end. You know.
Yeah.
And I was at. There was one game in March. This is 2012, 2013? The year that Dwight and Nash were all together, you know? And it was they were playing against the Falcons at the Phillips Arena in Atlanta. I was at that game.
Yeah.
And I was lower section. Shouts out to the VFW, lower sections. And it was me and my boys, you feel me? And it was that game he went off. Like he was going, like he was taking over in the fourth, you know, Mamba shit. And then he went for a layup, and I forget what it was, but he went down, and then he hurt his ankle.
Yeah,
and he was out for a little bit. Still got up, still shot, but it was like something was going up with it. We didn't know exactly what it was, but something was up. And then, mind you, if memory serves me, it's going towards like the season's ending. You're back. Every game is you're trying to get into that 8th seed, you know. And then they play the Warriors, and that's where he tore his Achilles.
Yeah. It was just hard because, like, you know, I think that people that aren't even Laker fans respect what he was about, and just to see his window close like that.
And then after that, after the Achilles, and then rotator cuff.
Yeah, I mean, the competitive fire never left Kobe. Yeah, but you know, Father Time is undefeated, and the injuries piled up, and it sadly, as much as a LeBron fan as I am, it's going to be the same with LeBron. You're seeing it starting now, unfortunately. So Father Time is undefeated. The competitive fire, I think, as an athlete, never leaves you. If you really love the game like that and love the competitiveness, but at some point, your body just says, I can't do it anymore. Yeah. It is what it is.
That's exactly what I was going to go to right now with the Lakers and LeBron. Is like, I feel he's kind of like the outlier in this. We've never seen 20 years and still be dropping 30. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking unheard of. And that is unfortunate. His situation right now, too, it's like bro, you not even going to make, as of right now, at this pace, not even going to make the play-in. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you have AD and Russell Westbrook, you know what I'm saying? Like those on paper, just hearing those names, it's like you thinking playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate for him, for LeBron too. And you could tell he's not playing maybe as he was in year 10, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. His body's, you could tell that, you know, it's not as strong, and he doesn't. It's just. Yeah, like I said, the Father Time is. I feel like it's kind of knocking on his door. It's not necessarily here, but it's just like, hey, bro, you know.
Well, it's one of those things where, you know, LeBron for years was never hurt.
No, yeah,
never. He's always been a guy on the court that you can count on to play. He's never been an injury prone player.
Right.
It was just, you know, a couple of years ago when you had the groin situation, and then you combine that now with everything going on with him. You know, he is starting to show that wear and tear, obviously. But the Lakers, when they got Anthony Davis, they were the mindset that we're going to take pressure off LeBron. He's not going to have to assert himself the way that he has in the past. And, you know, Anthony Davis has had his own injury problems. The Westbrook thing, starting didn't work out at all. That was a bust. Yeah. But, him coming off the bench has shown improvements. Yeah. But they just don't have the role players or the production and the longevity and the consistency they're getting from Anthony Davis to warrant, allowing LeBron to rest or to be out of the game for ample amounts of minutes. If anything, it's been worse. LeBron has had to carry over the game at times, and he's still averaging like 23 and 10. Yeah. But you can clearly see he's not affecting the game the way he used to. The defensive energy, the jumping ability, it has diminished. And this is being like the biggest diehard LeBron fan on the face of the earth. But I think that when they gave up all those pieces for Anthony Davis, they thought the return, they thought they were getting an MVP caliber player. I don't think Anthony Davis is going to be an MVP caliber player. He's still a borderline all-star, but clearly Ingram is gotten way better, leaps and bounds potential. Yes, if Lonzo was still healthy, Lonzo was killing it with the Bulls. Yeah. All these players that they gave up, they would love to have back right now. Unfortunately, Anthony Davis has not given them the production return they were thinking they were going to get, and it's just a bad situation all around when you combine the lack of role players they have and the minutes that LeBron has had to assert himself as. The Lakers, it's
no shooting.
A tough situation.
You know what Shaq called them? Yeah. Shaq called them the gated community. He said, they're like, what do you mean? He's like, no shooters.
Oh, my God.
He said, there's no shooters. He's like, the Lakers are a gated community.
That is. Shaquille O'Neal. That is what it is.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh my God.
That's true, bro. Like they need shooting, right? Like that's amongst other things. I feel like with LeBron too, it's tough because he can't. When LeBron was his best is when he was like, all right, quarter one, I'm just gonna facilitate. Right? Quarter two, all right, I'm gonna get my buckets when I need to get the to put some points up, for the scoreboard and everything. Yeah. Third quarter, all right, this isn't working for me. Let me shift to this. And then fourth quarter, if it wanted to, it was like, all right, F everything. I'm just going to take over the game. That's LeBron in a nutshell. That's why he's so fucking great, because he could do everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's now, at least from what I could see, the let me just take over. It's maybe not there anymore. I don't know if it's not there anymore, but it's just not as what it used to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And even when they won the championship in the bubble, you got to remember they had certain pieces that allowed them to be as effective as they have been in the LeBron era as his time with the Lakers. Yeah. They had Rondo, who facilitated immensely off the pick and roll with Davis.
Dwight Howard.
They had Dwight Howard.
Against Jokic?
Yeah.
Was crucial.
They had McGee. And then those pieces, clearly are not there right now. Yeah. But they had pieces that allowed them, and LeBron, I think the best thing in that bubble situation was that LeBron was, rested up. COVID had happened, and a lot of guys that were on that team were veterans, and they were able to rest up for 2 months. And LeBron came back, and he was as spry and as quick as ever. Yeah, you could make the argument: what would have happened if COVID never happened and the Lakers had to go through that season? Would the Clippers have had a better edge? Would the rust that the Lakers had have worn off? You just never know. Yeah. But I think everything clicked at the same time to where they had those kind of role players. Everybody was getting facilitated. Anthony Davis was a monster in the bubble. Yeah, but now it's just a situation where the injuries and the lack of, like you said, role players and people shooting that has hurt this team more so than ever before.
Well, that's what makes the Warriors right now as good and as so special right now is the fact that they're still Steph, the other game, I forget which team it was, but he just fucking went off, dude. Like he just went off in the fourth quarter. And I was like, God damn it, this guy when he at his age right now, the ability to just cook and just be like, you know what I'm saying? Between him doing his thing, between Clay still being on top. I checked out. I don't know if you listen to this podcast or not, but it's called All the Smoke with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes.
Love it. I love that podcast.
They had Klay Thompson on. I checked out the episode. Hilarious. It was a hilarious episode. Klay Thompson was the man. But I remember when he won the when they had won the championship, and then they were talking to Klay, and he was getting a bit choked up and emotional because think about the story that he had, and when he had to fight back and the adversity and everything, the injuries. And when he was talking about it in there too, he was like, "Oh, bro, Achilles, ACL, and all these things." And I was just like, I guess, and he had like a specific number. I don't know what the number was, like 800, something like that. Don't quote me on it, but however many days away. And they were just like, from that to fucking, you know what I mean, to win a championship. I love those little stories about the things that we don't see, because he was talking about stuff behind closed doors and how he was getting beat in practice, and he was just like, man, I can't even jump. At some point, you can't even like really push off and get that explosiveness because you're also a little bit worried. You know what I'm saying? So when he was detailing all that stuff, and I was like, that was super cool. I'm glad I checked that one out. But the Warriors right now are just, man, they might be favored again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know the situation. I don't know if the situation with Jordan Poole and Draymond is gonna ultimately come back and bite him in the ass. I don't know. I don't know if it's deteriorating there or not, but it doesn't seem like it so far.
They would probably be my favorite to come out of the West at least.
Yeah.
I still think when they're clicking on all cylinders, the Golden State Warriors are the best team in the NBA.
Yeah.
You have Steph Curry, and even if Klay is not what he once was, he's still 85% or 75%. And that's best,
That's a walking 18-20.
Yeah, I've said for years that Klay Thompson is the best shooting guard in the league. And this is when Harden was at his peak, and I said, well, Klay Thompson plays offense and defense.
Yeah.
So you have that. I mean, Poole is developing at a rapid rate. The Green situation worries me going forward because obviously Green is due for, that kind of money.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to figure out a way to deal with that. But I think that, they're still, in my heart of hearts, the team to beat in the West. Now, whether Kawhi Leonard comes back and he ever gets right, physically for the Clippers, that's a different story. You're dealing with a lot of factors. What's going to happen with Luka and the Mavericks? What's going to happen with a lot of teams in the Western Conference? Are the Nuggets ever going to get right with Murray and Jokic at the same time? But, I think that for all the question marks you would have on the Western Conference, when the Golden State Warriors are at their peak of their powers, it's just hard to root against them.
Well, and also, don't forget about the Phoenix Suns.
Well, I do like the Suns, but last year definitely took me back. I mean, they should have.
They dropped the ball.
They shouldn't have. I will say this: whether they had won or lost, I just think losing by 30 or 40 in a Game 7 does something to your psyche.
They dropped the ball.
They were supposed to win Game 7. Not only did they not win Game 7. They came out and they just weren't right. And then you have DeAndre Ayton fighting with Monty Williams. Ayton gets the money and then he acts like he doesn't want to be there. That's a problem. Like when you win when you're going for a championship in the NBA, or you're as a company going for an award or just trying to accomplish something in a group setting, everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody has to be like all in. They have to buy in. There's a lot of times you get teams that maybe aren't the most talented, maybe don't have the best players in sports, but everyone is locked in and focused to the point where no one can stop us because we believe in what we're doing.
Yes.
Perfect example is the Philadelphia Phillies. Philadelphia Phillies, they had Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber and Real Muto and all these guys, but they were bought into the concept. They didn't win the championship, but they were bought into the concept, and they beat teams like Atlanta. They beat teams like San Diego, who might have had a lot more firepower and were favored, but because that nucleus and that chemistry was so right, they were just able to conquer anything in their way up until they got to the Astros. So, Phoenix, from a talent standpoint, very talented basketball team, but I just feel like there's something that's missing in that nucleus that holds them back from achieving their ultimate goals and the ultimate prize.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it too, like who is their official, like their real solid three, like the big three. Who is that third one? Because I don't know definitively who it is now. You know what I'm saying? Because at first, again, that year they went to the finals, it was obviously Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, and his name is slipping me right now.
Booker?
Devin Booker.
Yeah.
That was the trio.
But I think Ayton has to get set up by Paul. His post game has not developed. That's the problem I would have. It's like, I'm giving this guy $100 million, and his post game is not what it's supposed to be. And Chris Paul, I mean, listen, I've met Chris Paul, great person, but Father Time is undefeated. And I don't, that last month of the season, and it's been a little better, but clearly there is something going on with Chris Paul where he has started to slow down and the skills are diminishing. And that is a problem.
And that sucks because he was like the epitome at one point, was like the point god. They were referencing him and everything.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, this is the standard. A lot of people would be like, this is what, he was a traditional point guard, you know what I mean? Not like a shooting or a mix, like a two-way, 1-2. He was a real point guard. So
I get it.
Chris Paul on that one.
I get it.
Question, do you think Draymond ever leaves Warriors?
Yes.
Do you think it's a mutual split? Decision by him, or do you think the Warriors cut ties with him?
I think if they split, it'll be mutual. I think on both sides of the coin, you have the Warriors who maybe are just trying to focus on winning the championship. They think Green is a distraction. The risk has finally outweighed the reward because he is diminishing a little bit skills wise.
Yeah.
I think Draymond, feels a little bit betrayed. I mean, they gave Poole his money, and then they, they tried to take Durant's side in the whole situation. But I just think for both sides, maybe it is the best for all parties involved to move on and just seek other options. And I just think the drama and the distractions, it's not going to be Draymond Green's team ever. And I'm not saying he wants it to be, but I just think at a certain point, he has been the Warriors for years. He is a representation of that team, of that city and that franchise, but it'll be hard to cut the ties. But I just think you can't give a guy that kind of money, just with all these problems.
Yeah. And why do you think people say, why do people assume right away that it's the Lakers? You think it's that just because him and LeBron are hella cool like that?
Yeah. I think he'll stay on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I think the Lakers need defensive help. They need somebody who can bring that toughness. They try to put that in with Beverly.
Yeah.
And from an attitude standpoint, but Beverly can't affect the game the way Draymond does.
Yeah.
And they have that clutch sports, tie and that connection.
Yeah.
And LeBron is going to need help. And if they can bring somebody in defensively, I mean, they need somebody who can score the basketball.
Yeah.
But if you can bring somebody in like Draymond Green who defensively can affect the game and change and
bother the team. I mean,
why not? Why wouldn't you try it?
Yeah, I get it. I definitely understand that one. Man, that's how I needed to talk sports with you, bro.
Always.
We go in. You know what I'm saying? We go in.
We have no choice.
That's what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Life is too short.
But I just had to get those. Those are the ones that stuck out to me the most. Obviously,
I get it.
There's baseball with the Astros that just won and all that, which a lot of people still were just like, hey, did they? A lot of people were like, did they? You know what I mean? Hey, what were they doing this time? You know what I mean? Like, but I get it. Hey, but they
no
won.
Trash cans this time.
50 Cent was right there. 50's been like really Houston lately.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of, you just see he just got he's getting like a day show.
For real?
Yeah, dude, like a straight up day show. 50 on a day show. Who would have fucking thought?
Is Ja Rule gonna be a guest?
Oh, special guest.
Well, is he?
I don't know. Let me ask him. Nah, just kidding though. But man, good convo, man. I wanted to catch up. I wanted to get you on. I'm glad that you're here. Like I said, I'm glad that we were able to get this one in and talk about sports, but also just get a life update from you, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope it also, as much as fun it was for me, and I definitely answered a bunch of questions that I have, but I hope it also was like a bit therapeutic for you to just talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, life is complicated and life can have its ups and downs. And I think that for me, the most important thing is you take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
For as many things that have not gone my way in life, I think that God has blessed me with the ability to, live my dream. And, you got to take the good with the bad. And
That's
you have to be willing to understand that in life, these things happen and things happen. But I think, if you never go through them, you don't really grasp the concept of, okay, the good times don't mean as much as the bad times and vice versa. So you have to take a little bit of the sour with the sweet and you have to deal with that. And I think for me, whether it's been my mom's health or the engagement didn't go right or, now being a television reporter and all this stuff, I think that the peaks and valleys are what you go through, and I'm having fun. And I God has blessed me to live another day. And as long as I'm waking up, living on God's green earth, thriving and not dying and flying and being here as long as I can, you got to be golden so you're never folding and you're groovy like a drive-in movie.
Hey, let's go. No, that's very important, man. Well, I'm glad, like I say, I'm glad we were able to chop it up and everything. I'm glad you came on. And good to see you back, man. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
You know what I'm saying? Pavo's coming up, Pavo Day. You know what I mean? Turkey.
Love it.
Gobble till you wobble. Maybe we should do a Thanksgiving episode. Maybe
100 plus like episodes. When I come back, it better be like 160 plus.
Bro, we're gonna be like 180, 200. We're just gonna keep on rocking.
That's great.
So
I'll go somewhere else and then I'll come back and I'll fill you on how that place is cold or hot. We'll be all good.
All right, y'all. My guest again, Keith Jouganatos, man.
God
Y'all
bless
check him out. Follow him on everything. Y'all stay safe. Peace.